questions are ready, guys.
Probably kind of a tough one to swallow, but hell of a comeback there. We guys go to that full court press, and that seemed to sort of swing things in your favor for a little bit anyway. Like Owen asked earlier, do you feel like that's something you guys sort of can maybe use a little bit more going forward?
Oh, certainly it requires a change in your lineup. I mean, Zach Gordon and Brian Bennett aren't the swiftest of foot to be able to recover, make multiple plays on the ball, and change direction. And you also have to look at how much energy you have. And it's nice to be able to, when you got nothing to lose, you're down by 15 with 7-8 minutes to go. You fire your bullets, and you change your lineup, and you pick it up, and maybe you put them on the free throw line a couple more times, and maybe a guy misses a free throw or two, and you get a little momentum back the other way. I'm really pleased with our catch-up mechanism. As we told our team, the real issue is that we got to look at is, that might be something we can use on a sporadic basis. Mm-hmm. But if we don't dig ourselves a 15-point deficit, then you don't have to do that. Maybe then you use it for every free throw, or every dead ball, or after every timeout. You test the waters on that, and then you're able to get a quick steal or basket that's effective. But the first time around, I thought the real difference though was Gabe Vincent's first half performance, where I thought he had at least 2 or 3 of those shots were relatively closely guarded, and he knocked down some long range shots. I think he was 6 of 9 from the first half, and I think he hit his first 5 of 6. I think he had 15 of the teams were 17 points. And that certainly got some confidence going on them. And then now we had to help so much of him on the screen, with Big stepping out on the screen, that it opened up the roll. And Beeler ended up having a heyday on some of the roll and the weak side action. Michael Bryson's actually the leading scorer. We kept a lot of focus on Bryson, but Gabe Vincent was the guy carrying the sword around tonight and making those plays and helping build that lead. And that's something we'll have to adjust to.
Yeah. Joel, huge shot for him. I mean, didn't play many minutes and has been banged up, as we know, but comes in, finishes that one inside, steals the inbounds pass, and got it to Ridge eventually, and then he makes that huge shot. What did you see on that play?
Well, we know Joel's playing on one leg, and the good news is he's a warrior, and he couldn't practice on whatever it was on Tuesday, and then he was able to practice most of Wednesday. It swelled up a little bit. And we could tell the first 2 or 3 or 4 minutes of the first half he didn't have the quickness, and it wasn't warm enough, and then we had to kind of go faster. He did end up popping it again. He's probably not going to be able to go tomorrow. I don't know his availability on the weekend. Well, he came down on it again, and again, you always got to balance the patience plus first the competitiveness, the short term and the long term. Try to keep him out of the game as long as possible. We had to go to him. We had to go to something change. We had to go with a quicker 5-man. We basically played with the 5 with Josh or Luke, and with that quick lineup. But he's his ankle's a mess right now, and we gotta be smart about it, but we gotta be aggressive about it.
I thought Dave got a pretty good look on that last one. What did you see there?
Well, we're kind of end of the game scenarios. Probably 3 out of 5 days, 4 out of 5 days. We have different plays, different calls, different scenarios, and we worked on that play specifically, literally 24 hours ago. What Dave did on that play during practice, he actually drove and turned and threw the pass, and it went out of bounds. I said, Dave, we'll take our chances with you ahead of steam going towards the rim. 4 to 5 feet is a heck of a shot to go with 6 or 7 seconds when you cover length court. I said, not only that, you shoot it, make sure it gets up with 3 seconds to go, so if it does pop up in the rim, somebody else could go tip it in. So we got everything we wanted off that. We were able to sub and change and call our timeouts and use our offensive and defensive lineups to crawl back into it and take the lead. Then we went to our special defense, which we switched every screen, so they never got anything clean. The only thing that they had was a top-down drive. We helped up, dumped down, overreact off that recovery. So. But we already had, coming out of timeout, we knew what we were running. They said if it's 1 point, 2 point, we were going to our play, and we know we have our name for it. We won't share that, but they know what they ran. We ran it. I said, Dave, it's better to have missed the shot, better to fire a bullet and miss, and never pull your gun and turn the ball over. I mean, let's be honest. That shot rolls in. There's 1 or 2 seconds to go. We win the game. And we're just talking about a great comeback, and we don't think about anything else. And it's just, and that's what's fun about the game. I mean, that's what makes it reality TV, is you come back from 15 and the ball rolls around and you think that you have a great chance to win a game and have your crowd go nuts. And the reality is you miss it and you feel like crap, you don't sleep till 2 in the morning. That's why sports is awesome.
Regroup on a short turnaround for Long Beach.
Well, that was actually my last word to them, was that the emotions are so high. I was pretty unemotional with the team, because the reality is, not only do you want to take a shot and miss it instead of turn it over. I said, Dave, that's what we want. There's no player here. I read the stats. I said, hey, let's take a look. Was any players here perfect from the field? 3 for 10, 1 for 3, 5 for 13, 3 for 8, 0 for 3, 1 for 2, 2 for 5, 4 for 9, 3 for 4, 6 for 9. You just remember the last one. So you got to get rid of the emotion of we want any one of the other 66 shots could be the one that been the difference of 2 points. So you gotta get facts in front of them to get emotions away from it, to get ready, because it is 48 hours from now that we are in the battle again and back to the gladiator lifestyle.
Joe, you guys came out in the beginning of the second half and cut it to 3 really quickly. Got that Mikkel jumper at the end of the first half, and then he made a bucket at the beginning of the second. And then I guess the lead kind of grew kind of slowly but surely, it seemed like. And maybe there were a few calls that didn't go your guys' way. I've heard you talk about emotional stamina over time. What did you see out of your team in terms of kind of responding to some of those things during that time? And did it take them a little while to get out of that funk in that second half?
Well, I thought, the big difference in the college officiating right now is that they're really calling it tight on the perimeter drive. If you hit a guy at the elbow and pin and drive, they're calling fouls up there. It's tight and stop, and you have very little error there. They don't call it quite as tight in the post. And I thought there were 5, 6, 7 calls, interior calls, which was just physical play, arms, legs, hands getting hit, and that I thought we were frustrated as a team and as a staff. And I talked to official intensely about just that factor of boy, it feels like we're being physical, we're getting the ball inside, we're being aggressive. And then when you miss those opportunities, and we were right at the rim level, I think we had 3 or 4 situations where we were at the rim to either dunk it, get a layup, get a putback, a tip in it, rolls out, we don't get it, goes the other way, something like that. But the great part about that was we were able to, I think there was a 5-6 minute period there when they built that lead that we were very frustrated. But I thought that for the most part, as we subbed and changed the game rules, we again regrouped and made a battle out of it. And so I was really proud, because this team has shown tremendous stamina, maturity over the 6 or 7 road games that we lost. Coming back to practice, watching film, there's not oh boy, the wheels have fallen off and the world's fallen down. They realize these are very good teams we're playing with them, very good players. You lose at the buzzer, you don't sell everything you've done. You just got to get 2 plays better, and that's very doable.
Looking at just the shooting, I mean, you guys 4 of 16 from the 3-point line, one of the probably one of your guys' worst percentage games, and not putting it up a ton from downtown, and then 13 for 21 from the free throw line. That seems like just looking at the shooting numbers, a lot of the other numbers look pretty close to the same thing.
Yeah, I thought against the zone early on, we had 2 or 3 great clean looks. I mean, Luke Mikkel had a couple good clean looks, and Reese had 1 or 2, and even Taylor on a fast break had 1 or 2. 1 or 2 of those go in, and then you flip the other side, they're 11 for 19, and Gabe Vincent probably hit 3 or 4 of them that you go like, wow, that looked like an NBA shot. Come off the screen, come off that. It looked like Damon Lillard on a couple of those shots where he's casting 24 feet with a guy kind of chasing down, and hats off to that. And you say, okay, well, hopefully we get to play another team, another game, and we turn around and we go 11 for 19, which is very doable from our team.
What do you know about Long Beach? I mean, that's not going to let up intensity-wise in terms of playing. But
I actually only seen him play 1 time against BYU early in the preseason. I'll get a chance to watch our game in the morning, and then mid-morning I'll watch another one of their games. We have a lead assistant, so I've seen 4 or 5 games. He gave me the folder, and I'll start reviewing the folder. But all I know is that the Faust kid right now is a Conference Player of the Year candidate. He's a high major athlete. He's the kind of kid that's going to be in an NBA training camp, without a doubt. He has that skill set. But if you focus solely on him, it's kind of like Michael Bryson. They have 2 or 3 other guys that can come in, knock down multiple threes. I think they hit 14 or 15 threes the other night in a victory. And so there's a team very similar to what we just experienced here that has the capacity of 3 or 4 different guys that hit those threes. And I think that's what the game is. Golden State Warriors. You just have that many players that can shoot the ball, court gets awfully big. And now those driving lanes and the pick and roll space is so much because you just don't have the room to help off the old smash mouth with two big strong players inside and a point guard and maybe only one and a half to two shooters. And you're seeing a lot of teams with 3 and 4 very good shooters on the court. And that's why we're very effective when Joel Alwich or Luke Meikle or Josh Martin, if they're hitting a 3, you got your 4-man stretch 4 shooting effectively. Now, Brian Bennett is going to work with very little help, none, or even if David hits a couple mid-range shots, that's really a big deal.
So Cal Poly and Santa Barbara entered tonight with the same records, and then you guys went down to the wire in today's game. I know it's early in the season. I know this isn't a question that coaches like to answer, but are you guys kind of like on the even? You guys see yourselves as even with Santa Barbara?
I don't think that their coach sees us even. I don't think I see us even. I think we both see ourselves. I mean, a real coach speak is you coach long enough, you don't see yourself ahead or behind or even. You see yourself, you got to get better. I mean, this is such a marathon. You got 8 weeks left of this. When we had a couple of years ago where we hadn't won down there for something like 7-8 years. We finally went down there and beat them on their home court. I didn't feel like we were ahead of them then. When they beat us by 15 on our home court 2 years ago, the last game on senior night, we turned around and 5 days later won by 30 to continue our steps. So as soon as you think that you're ahead, you're probably going to get caught. Think you're behind, you probably overcorrect. It's kind of like a boat, and you think you turn that wheel, you're like, oh, I overdid it, overcorrected, so it's really hard. So I think what we'll all look at is, I think most coaches are pretty realistic after 10, 12 games.
Yeah.
You go like, okay, are we 4-8? Are we 8-4? And if we're 4-8 and they're 8-4, and they're ahead of us right now. And if vice versa, then we're ahead of them. If we're both 6-6 or something like that, you kind of go, okay, well, we're probably in the same pigment here, and then we got to go ahead and have 4 games to figure it out. And then even then, so many of the things that I've experienced here come down to good health and good roles. We sat Kyle Oddister 2 years ago for the chance to go into the NCAA tournament, and we just couldn't play him because he was hurt too much. And we had Reese Morgan out the entire year with his knee, and we didn't play him, and he was rusty. We only practiced him once or twice a week to get his rust off, and then we played him the last game, and then he came in the Big West tournament, made a play. Kyle Oddister was excellent. So all of a sudden, the dynamics of who's ahead and who's behind and how you're doing comes down to good health. I mean, Joel, which is super healthy, all of a sudden you got another option out there, another shooter, an experienced guy, leading scorer. I think he was up until a week ago when he's been hurt. So but they got a kid out too. So it's one of those that you have so much mountain in front of you that you hardly look at who else is climbing it. We got so much work ahead of us, and it's so intense and it's so consuming. All I can tell you is that when it's Sunday afternoon, it's 2 o'clock, and you're walking to the refrigerator, and all you can think about is your basketball team. That's pretty much how our life is for right now.
Okay, and then really quick, you guys are scoring a lot more than you did last year. I was just wondering if you'd give me a couple of reasons why.
Well, mostly we have better scores. We have a very good arsenal of guys. Jalen Shedd can score it off the bench very well. He creates some opportunities for others. He's bringing Josh Martin off the bench. Ryan Bennett's not even starting, and he was a second-team all-conference player. He's been developing a little bit more. It seems like his conditioning is getting better and his finish is getting better. We just have Luke Meikle comes off the bench or starts now, but was off the bench. I think our personnel, number one, is, and number two is clearly we're pushing the ball more. Our tempo is a little more aggressive to push the ball off that. And that's and then the third one, to be fair to the whole thing, is there's a shot clock. It has been shortened from 35 to 30, which adds about 3 more possessions a night. And that adds, if you only make one more, if you only make one of the 3, you've got two more points on there, and so it takes our average and disproportionately might skew it by 2 or 3 points up. But our tempo's better, our offensive players are better. We just keep on saying the same thing for us. Our key for success is rebounding.
Yeah.
When we can control the boards, we're 4-2 when we win the rebound battles, and we're 2-6 now, 2-7 because tonight was a push. I think it was 40 to 40, and we ended up with 11 offensive boards, but they had their 8, and a couple of those were tip-ins for baskets.
Yeah.
It really hurt us.
Have you guys found that you're turning over the ball a little bit more this year than in years past?
Well, actually, I'm pleased to say that I was anticipating that we would be turning the ball over more because we're running more, that there's more possessions, and we're actually per possession turnover we're the same. So we only, again, we're single digits tonight. We were 9 the other night in Hawaii. Last year we averaged 9.8, 9.9. We were second in the nation. Fewest turnovers. I anticipated we'd be around 12 a night because we had that many more turnovers or possessions and speed. And I've been pleased that we've been able to keep it at 10, 11. If we go over 12, 13, then I think we're probably running over the top of the ball. So I think that keeps you in every game.
Yeah.
But honestly, making buckets and rebounding the ball win the game. I mean, you can play great defense. You don't get the ball back. They get second one. And you can run a great offense. But at the end of the day, you don't make that shot, it's not great offense. I mean, that again, just go back from the NBA. You know, that new coach for the Warriors, that Luke Walton. It's amazing how those guys shoot good when Steve Kerr's the coach, and they shoot good when Luke Walton's the coach. I think good shooters shoot well when, you know, I think that team is really amazing shooting the basketball. I'm pretty sure you could be the coach for the Warriors for a night, and I bet you Stephen Curry makes a lot of shots.
Yeah.
Last question, are you guys getting better on defense? I know you guys have been playing more man, and obviously second half tonight and during the comeback you guys were in a press, so it's a little different, but you know, are you feeling better about your half-court defense?
I feel better. I think we're 3 to 4 weeks away. I would like to say we're 3 hours away. There are the second and third actions. We're better on the first action, and then we lose concentration. We're better on the second action. Maybe, okay, we'll get around the screen to our counter to, like, hey, what we got to do. What we're not good at, because we're playing 9 and 10 guys, which is a plus, and we, you know, hey, without Josh Martin tonight, with Joel hurt, I mean, do we even make the comeback? So that's a plus. You say, oh, you have too many guys. But when you have more guys, you have more guys not getting their reps in practice. So, and Josh not having eligibility to start with has no game reps. So Josh's mistakes are often inexperience of the game of, like, okay, how to split the difference between this guy and that guy.
Reps you'd like to have gotten in, like, the early.
Absolutely.
preseason
You want a
games,
guy. I've said for 100 years that a player hasn't settled for 7 to 10 games. I think 7, and that means a kid come off injury, an ACL. You know, Zach Gordon and both Taylor Sutliff, I think just now are kind of getting that confidence with the knee. You know, they had ACL and missed the whole entire year, didn't walk for 6 months. You know, and that's a highly physical thing to overcome. So I think guys like Luke Meikle and Josh Martin, again, they sat the entire year.